Hi everyone, welcome to Silver Value. So today we are going to look at Affirm. They've just inked a deal with Amazon, which is an incredibly amazing and possibly a massive deal as well, which is going to change the company going forward, particularly the share price and the valuation of the company. So we look at Affirm. Currently share price is $67.90. Obviously the deal didn't come out until afterwards. So whoever sold will be really gutted that they just sold on the cusp of a massive deal, because if you look at the aftermarket pricing, it was over $92 or 35% above the closing price. So you got to be gutted if you're one of the few people that sold the share price. So current valuation is $18.5 billion. And if we look at the revenue base, this usually gives us a really good idea of what we're going to be dealing with. So for the third quarter, they did $230 million in revenue, and that's up from last year when they did $138 million in revenue. So relatively decent result. And then you look at the 9-month revenue. 9 months is $608 million in revenue. And in basically they're looking about $356 million for last year, so doing relatively well. And if we look at the guidance for the revenue for the fourth quarter, it's expected to be between $215 million to $225 million, or for a full year $824 million to $834 million. Which is pretty decent. Like they're growing pretty quick, and then now they sign Amazon. So the biggest question is, how much could Amazon add to the value of this company? And there was this Yahoo article who's done this quote here, which, you know, again, they're just estimating as well, but for them they've said, if Affirm captures 1% of Amazon.com's North America sales through this deal, it could add over $900 million or 10% to the revenue. The deal comes just in time as Affirm's largest customer, Peloton, at 20% of revenue, has lowered prices and trimmed sales expectations. Yeah, so I think that's why the share price is probably a little down, because I mean, now we're looking at Peloton, and there's a little, I guess, expectations that the revenue could drop a little bit based on Peloton. But now they have a massive deal with Amazon that potentially this is a game changer for the company, right? So remember here, right? Revenue $824 million to $834 million for 2021. And here we have an article citing that over time, if they could just get 1% of their sales from Amazon, it could mean up to $900 million in revenue, which is amazing. Which basically double what they're going to be earning for 2021. So if we price that in and look at the current share price, this share price could possibly double, depending on how fast the company's growing, of course. But based on the current speed, you know, the market's pretty happy to give this company an $18.5 billion valuation. And yeah, I think going forward with a massive deal like Amazon, it only just continues to build up and build up and build up. But we don't know, of course, how long it will actually take people to actually want to use Affirm. It could be that people just don't actually want to use buy now pay later, but I mean, if we look at the stats, buy now pay later is future. A lot of people will use it, and a lot of people continue to increase the use of it as well. So I can only imagine with Amazon, the next 2 to 3 years is going to be a game changer for this price. You could see this company easily double in the next 2 to 3 years, assuming this Amazon deal goes very well. And yeah, like that is all contingency of all deals, right? All deals can seem nice, but of course they have to go well. If they don't go well, then there's no point in anything really. But yeah, like I think so far, like if we look at when this company came onto the market, it went up as over $100. There was high hopes and expectations for this company. Of course, it never really materialized. They've still done really well though. I think they were going from there is a growth rate in here, so we'll quickly zoom up to here. So third quarter growth rates, they did 89% in growth in 2020 of that from the prior year, and this year they did 67%. So 67% is still really good, but obviously the growth rates have dropped off a bit. So hence why the share price dropped off a fair bit, because the growth of the company has started to slow down. But if you look at the growth merchandise volume, it's actually increased 83%. So people are using the platform and they're getting more spending on the platform, which is a really positive sign, particularly when you see that the active consumers only increased 60%. So you're actually having spending go much higher than basically the growth of the actual consumer base, which is always very positive when people are starting to actually spend more using Affirm. So I think overall I would say very positive in terms of this overall deal. And the biggest question is this company still worth buying at? It's just $92 or even $100. I think so, given the deal is a massive deal, but it's going to require patience, of course. Like if you're willing to hold for a year, I think you will see this share price well above $100, depending on when this Amazon deal starts coming through. But the minute this starts coming through on Amazon, there's just so much momentum. Firstly, more people use Amazon as it goes, and more people will continue to use Affirm as it goes as well. So you can only just see this company just growing. It's really nice investing in these type of companies because they grow like with a rising tide, and the momentum is just with them. The only problem as an investor is buying a share price when it's too high. So you never want to buy a share price when it's way too high, because when expectations fall, the share price tends to fall as well. So you don't want to overpay, but at $100, I think it's not too bad. I think you still have to probably ride some volatility, but you will definitely see the share price do very well in the next 1 or 2 years. Like this isn't one of those deals that you could see it immediately paying off entirely, but I think over time it definitely pays off very nicely. But of course that's just my opinion and what I'm seeing over here. If you've got other opinions, or if you agree, or anything, or any questions, post below. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.